So out of all the critiques in Jurassic Park 3, here are the things that actually make sense. And I'm going to tell you what they are right now. Hey everybody, welcome to this movie analysis. My name is Greg. Now, Jurassic Park 3 is considered a terrible entry into the series, and there are a lot of critiques to certain plot points in the movie. Well, I'm here to tell you that there are 4 different points that people critique that actually make sense. So let's get going. Alan Grant, after the events of the first 2 movies, is still working as a paleontologist and a guest lecturer. And now he's suddenly suffering from dinosaur PTSD. He is approached by what seems to be a loving couple who want to go to the island where all the dinosaurs are at, Isla Soma, which seems perfectly okay. They're willing to pay him a lot of money, and they're just thrill seekers, right? They just want to get this adrenaline high. Now, the critique here is that Grant's motivation to going back to the island is the same exact thing as the first film. He was offered money to guide this thrill-seeking couple to see all these different dinosaurs. Now, is this lazy writing? No, it isn't. And the reason why this isn't lazy writing is because if you look at the salary of somebody who is most likely discredited for being part of such a catastrophe as Jurassic Park, Alan Grant probably isn't getting a lot of money from the university he's working for. So any money he can get actually will be helpful. And think about our own lives. Money is a huge motivator for all of us. So the idea that being offered money to do something dangerous, it might be redundant, but it actually also makes sense because you and I would do the exact same thing. So when they get to the island, we actually find out that this couple ended up lying about their reason. They're not thrill seekers, they're trying to find their son, who ended up being stranded on the island shortly before. And we also find out that, hey, guess what? They're divorced. So why would they lie? What's the motivation behind that? Why not just be right up front with somebody like Alan Grant? Well, there are a lot of easy and explainable reasons for this. For one, they aren't millionaires. And so what's harder? Convincing somebody to save a child out of the kindness of their heart for charity and literally nothing? Or to pay experts millions of dollars to come with you on a dangerous journey? One is a little bit more convincing than the others, especially when you're dealing with people who have such a high profile as Alan Grant. This isn't complicated, it's just human behavior. People are more motivated by money than doing the right thing, and I think we've seen that enough in our own world to realize that. Lastly, if I'm approached by a desperate parent who is trying to save their child from an island full of dinosaurs that routinely killed people, am I going to think that they're going to do the most logical thing? Am I totally confident that they are going to value my life equally? Probably not. So if a desperate parent comes to me and says, look, I can't give you any money, and can you go into this really dangerous situation where, you're not my top priority, so you're probably going to die. Why would I ever agree to anything like that? So the fact that they lied about that actually makes 100% complete sense. And guess what? All of this comes true in the movie when they don't listen to Alan Grant when we see him. So there's perfectly good reasons to lie about 1, their wealth, and 2, their motivation, because any reasonable human being wouldn't do anything like this. Why did they need to use the Velociraptor whistle? Okay, so at the beginning of the movie, we see Alan Grant going up to his buddy at an excavation, Billy, a research partner, and Billy has something to really show him that's kind of cool, which is a 3D model of a Velociraptor vocal cords made out of wood. Now, when you blow through it, it makes the same sounds as a Velociraptor, allowing you to communicate. Now, some people might look at that and think, well, that's kind of weird, that doesn't make a lot of sense, but in our world, we actually do have whistles made out of different materials that we use to communicate with other animals. Dog whistles are one, and we use that plenty enough to be able to communicate, whether it's as a punishment or as a motivational tool for our dogs. And this particular vocalization actually comes back up later on in the movie. So what we get is we get an actual payoff, and that's actually really great, and it's pretty good storytelling when you think about it, being able to use a device there at the beginning to use at the end. You want to know who else did stuff like that? James Bond. James Bond did a lot of the same things where you'd be introduced to these weird devices at the beginning of the movie that would be used at the very end. And so it's just using that same trope. So this isn't really that hard to understand. Okay, so when they finally find the kid, they figure out that he's been living in an abandoned truck for the last 8 weeks. So the big question is, how did he do it? This is a kid who comes from what seems to be a pretty suburban class family that doesn't seem to be too interested in doing like Boy Scouts. We don't know what his background is or survival skills. So does it actually make sense that he can do this? And yes, it is. And we see this at the very beginning of the movie when they're trapped on the island. His parents say that he's a survivor. He's resilient. He's stubborn. And the thing is you don't have to necessarily be a genius to be able to survive in a particular climate or environment. People did it thousands of years ago. And this kid actually also has other pieces of knowledge to his disposal and certain supplies that he may have been able to scavenge while he was there. And also, why would we want to see the body of a dead kid? The whole point of the movie is to save this kid. It would actually be pretty underwhelming if it actually didn't happen. And we also know that the kid has a lot of knowledge about dinosaurs because he's read some of Dr. Grant's books. So he's able to put some of that knowledge into use. So all of this actually shows that he's, one, very intelligent, two, he keeps calm under pressure, and three, he's resilient. And when you put all those together, makes sense that he's able to survive on this island. Okay, so there's a lot of things that you can criticize Jurassic Park 3 for. You can criticize some of the special effects, you can criticize this famous part, Alan, and you can criticize some of the script, right? But the plot and some of the devices within the plot make sense, and there are reasons why they are there. But now I want to hear from you. What are some of your favorite parts about Jurassic Park 3? And what did you think of my reasons? Did you like them? Did you not like them? Leave a comment below. And if you like this video, hit that like button. And be sure to subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching, Internet. Peace.